For 16 nights and days he raved, but on the 17th he burst into the arms of Judas, which is where he died of thirst. And no one tried to say a thing when they brought him out in jest, except of course the little neighbor boy who carried him to rest.
It's a very special kind of afternoon, and I'm glad that only the cream, only the ones interested, and only the ones who has that focus is with us. Thank you very much for being a part of Spring Orchestra and our delightful conversation, and also the film. By the way, now that I can see y'all, I know Bar's reflection, but did you like the film? Hey, I can see that smile. This is what these days make me very happy, especially after my period in the rehab. I find that the smile in people's faces, the tear rolling down and landing in someone's cheek, those for me are applauses these days. I'm very fond to see those smiles. Thank you very much. And good afternoon, good evening, or whatever part of the day it is or night. What a delight to have you amidst us, Balu. And we've been celebrating Balu's little dreams. That's what he likes to, put across. Celebrating Balu's little dreams. And you know how heavy that sounds. And after watching Platinum Gong, Ba, if you go back in time and whisper a little secret to that young boy chasing music with bare feet under the open skies of Shillong, what would you tell him today, to that young Ba then?
You're on the right road, my friend. Keep going, because there is a beginning and the end is endless.
Thank you. You've given, you see, no matter what, you see how crisp he still is today, like the person. And this is what we learned from him when we were growing up simultaneously here in Guwahati and Shillong. He made it very clear that be crisp. And he's given the world his voice, his spirit, and his undying love for freedom. And this evening, through it all, the applauses, the silences, and the roads, both known and unknown, what has been your truest companion so far, apart from the guitar?
It's the love of life and the respect for it. Because without respect, you cannot make a step. Because if you make a step, it will not have any meaning. That's the beauty.
And you've always said, Ba, that music is nothing but freedom. We've heard this when we were very young, that for Balu, music is freedom. But today, how would you relate freedom and music, Ba?
See, the color of expression. See, if you take it musically and you take it lyrically, it is something like a kaleidoscopic outburst of emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is the beauty of music. That is the beauty of a song. That is the beauty of freedom. Because the beauty of freedom is what? Is responsibility. Is that load that we have behind our backs, right within our souls.
A sacred responsibility.
Yes.
Great.
That is what the true freedom is.
Thank you so much. It was indeed, it is heartwarming to know your reflections always. But I must tell you, when I was growing up again, I'm making it a little personal because I've seen this man since my nascent years growing up in Shillong. And once it was a fairly rainy morning, and he was very close to my uncle then, and they came up to our Laban house wearing a pair of jeans, of course a shirt, and his mane was flowing then, black mane and all, a huge man, and I was this much. But, cut it short, By the 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when he's walking back, he's no longer in his jeans. He's cut it off into shorts, and there are little bands coming out like dresses all over, and the man walks back. And I was intrigued, like you saw in the film Rudy saying he was intrigued. I was like, hey, what happened over here? And that's how we saw him growing up. But so my point, I'll bring Bar onto it now, but what I want to reflect is, in India, and then later on the globe, because it was not a very digital world like where you belong to, but as a showman, till date, I haven't seen someone as the man himself sitting on my left. And fashion, oh my God, it comes to him. And we'll come to loose thoughts, but I must also tell you that the socks that he wears, there's a story to it. It's not just plain fashion. You see a lot of people making, those kind of mark situations now globally. But now I would want Balu himself to tell you in a very crisp manner what were the story for him. And I must also tell you that words, this is what we were doing when we got a book up for Dylan with Gary Browning in London. It got released during the COVID, and it started off with words like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For me, are mere words on the table. So you can imagine how he grew up. But he'll tell you himself the sock story.
Well, there's always a couple of socks. And then when the toenails, or maybe the tiny toe, the nails overgrow, so there'll definitely be holes here, there. So definitely the socks will be torn either on the heel or right in front. So for me, anything that is torn, which I cannot repair, so I just throw it away. So in this way, you keep on collecting the good socks, the good part of it, eventually which taught me to collect the good things in life, of life, for life.
Great.
So that's exactly what happened to the socks. And then my friends, on my birthday, they used to give me socks. Like Jeff, he used to give me already, like different kind of socks, different sizes, different colors. So it just happens just like that. And then whenever I keep all the socks in one bag, so I just take them random. So I just pick just like that. So whatever comes, I just do just like that.
So, and that's now a signature, We'll come to his shorts and we'll save it for a rainy day. Maybe not today, but we'll tell you that more of it. But I must also tell you, once we were all going up to Shillong, and this you will like, especially the young ones. You like Michael Learns to Rock, don't you? That band who played in Shillong and who played in Guwahati as well. I remember I was the anchor for one of them. But when it came to Shillong first, we were all ready, we went up, and then I went to Bar's place, and I said, Bar, let's go now, we're getting ready. And we had a little shorteroo happened, and we were about to go to that place to see. You know what he told me? Hey, D'Com, you carry on. They're still learning to rock. So, next time when something else happens, I'm going to go. You carry on. I clearly remember, of course, I had a big face, hanging face, because he said, basically, he's telling me that you carry on, boy. I'm not going, And I said, what, Ba? Because, they're learning to rock. So you carry on, maybe next time. Now, and he's always crisp that way, okay? But I want you all to know, in a nutshell, how struggle makes a man stoic. He talks about being sacred, but we know, and from a very close notion, what it takes, what kind of courage it takes to be what he is. Because when we're working on a small collection, or kind of a book, but there's a solid chapter on how he moved to Calcutta. You saw Rudy, soulmate, and the blues guy. His father, Toto Wallang, was then in Calcutta. But when he came back, there's a sweet story he'll tell you, but he was then working in the daytime as a daily wage earner, carrying balu, gitti, on his, that load to make if I'm not mistaken, it's a church somewhere, Linton Street. At night, performing. So he'll give you that story in a nutshell. Bah, if you will. I know it's a little emotional connect, but if I request you to tell them a bit of how it was in your periods in Calcutta.
It's perfectly okay. See, because leaving Shillong and then finding my way to Calcutta, which is I was blinded by the bright lights and the multitudes of people and the buildings and stuff like that. But yet I don't have anybody and I don't have any work to do. So there's fire in me and my pockets are empty and so is my stomach. So there's no place to stay, so I'll end up staying at footpaths and parks and some other areas, whatever it is. And then I met some, Anglo-Indian boys, Burmese boys. We were very good friends. So they said, hey, what you doing, man? I said, well, not much. They said, well, why don't you come and work with us? So I said, yes, why not? Because for me, just that word, work, it means a lot to me. Because I love work, I enjoy work, and I respect work. So we said, look, this is, like a laborer kind of job. So I said, yes, it is. Work is work, man. Like the saying goes, work is worship. So that's how Majaw landed up in Ripon Street. If you ever go to Calcutta, Ripon Street, there's a church, there's a huge building called St. Mary's. So Majaw was there doing all the work, the daily laborers' work, which makes me feel good the whole day. And then come 5 o'clock, I go wash up, take my guitar, and then go to Moulin Rouge, go to Trinkers, enjoy another kind of work over there. So my friends over there, they said, Lou, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you ashamed? The whole day you're working over here like a regular laborer. I said, hey, man, the joy of work, the pleasure of work, that's what drives me.
You heard that? And we talk about dignity of labor now in our country. This is early 70s, right? Yeah. So it touched me when he told me this story. When I was doing a little write-up for him, I remember, I forgot, it was the Telegraph or was it the Rave magazine or the Rock Street Journal. That's the first time he mentioned this, that in his growing up years, he used to work as a daily wage earner. And you will be surprised what the fee was. But tell them the fee, what do you got?
Well, perfectly all right. Yeah. See, because...
you hear this out.
Yeah, Majaw is shameless. Because why? Because I'm proud. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of what I do. I used to get 5 rupees a week.
A week?
So that's how Majaw is alive now, today, to be sharing this meaningful evening with you.
And so I said, there's so much to learn from this man. And I consider myself to be very, very lucky that those days, there were few writing about music, especially our kind of music, the music we love, growing up in Shillong. And I remember there was a column in the Sentinel where the person who was writing, Rajiv Chaudhary, he's a senior, but he passed away suddenly. And when Rajiv passed away,
I didn't know, man.
Yeah. Then we,
God rest his soul.
Dhiren Bejbarua, my teacher in school, and the editor later, told me that, fill up that space, boy, and write something about music every week. And that's how I started Elbow Room. And my first feature was about Balu. And that time I was studying in Cotton College. I was in my first year. And making a little 70 rupees every week for that write-up, So these are stories that really touch your heart. But it's a chapter when it comes to his writings. I don't know how many of you know, but he left school in class 7 and 8, that period. And like they say today, a school dropout. But it amazes me again when I keep asking him that, You very proudly say that, no, I left school because then he wanted to become a tailor and he was stitching his own clothes and he was earning a living out of it. Trousers, shirts, jackets, that kind, in St. Anthony's. And then he said, no, this is life and it goes on. And what kind of a thing, what kind of a drive was it on those writings then? He says, I found my way to the altar, but the bride wasn't there. And there she was, sitting on a platinum chair. And all the songs that he writes amazes me still. But those, I'm sure, we will listen to a couple of them if he is willing to. But meanwhile, Sanya, is there? Oh, Banani is there. Banani, will you tell me how good we are on time? 10 more minutes of him reflections, and then we can go to and make them a little happy. Yeah? So, I could hear when I was coming up in the morning, a lot of them were telling me, sir, will he perform? That's up to him. But we'll keep the piece of wood, like he says. We keep the piece of wood ready. But thanks to Tenzing, he managed this, and
yeah, we got 10 minutes at least.
We got 10 minutes at least. But then I also want you to, Bash, tell them that what is the magic? What is your connect? You shared that in the film, but can you tell them more closely what is your pen to paper connect still, by which I'm trying to tell you to tell them about the way you still write, and what is that magic that gets your connect from pen to paper?
See, because for Lou Majaw is that even when he left school, he never stopped learning. Because eventually I realized the school which belongs to Lou Majaw is the world. The lanes and by-lanes, the roads that Lou Majaw treaded upon, the highways, the subways, the alleyways, and it's a day-to-day life. So at the end of the day, when the book is read, I never did leave school. I'm still in school.
That's a good one. I'm still in school.
You'll always be in school, because if a person stops learning, then you are not on this world anymore.
The story ends.
That's it.
Yeah. And I still have a few songs which he shared to me those days because I had to write. So I wanted lyrics. So he says, yeah, keep them. And how glad I am today that I've still treasured them over years. That's his handwritten, songs. And my work was to type it for him at times and give it back to him, the typed copy, so he keeps it somewhere closely.
Thank you.
And another thing that I want you to tell them and maybe reflect upon is that I've always heard from him back in Shillong that he tells me that I don't know what these musicians these days, especially singers, guitar players, why they take so long when they are on stage. For me, D'Com, your job is to perform. So when the stage is set, just go up, plug, and play. To manage the sound and all is the engineer's work. Yeah? So even till date, when Majaw's performance is there, you will not find any kind of waiting. He'll keep everything, he'll do the check prior, but when it comes to being up on stage, the very next second, you see the fire and the energy. But would you like to share your thoughts on this delay these days, technology, the sound, with the finesse or whatever it is, from the musician's point of view? Because I have seen you that you still go, plug, and you play. But I haven't seen that very often. You don't get to see it.
It's a lack of discipline.
Well said, Ba.
One word, a lack of discipline.
This is what I like in this man. So he tells me categorically, D'Com, I just don't understand what it is, why these people go. You have to have a tuned guitar, you tune it and keep it ready. Huh? The people are paying, man. You don't watch people just going and tuning a guitar when your name is called. So, it struck me that there's no point. And today he said it just right. It's a lack of discipline and nothing else. Even till date, I remember, he will tell you more, I'm just throwing the seed for him. It was such a, kind of a sacred moments when I was discussing my plays with him. Because more than just a performer, songwriter, a dreamer, he's done a lot of soundscaping and music direction for my theater, for my plays in the past. And we still have one project that will take shape soon. But there was one play that was called To Each His Own, penned by today's filmmaker, those days a playwright, Nicholas Bernard Kargonka from Shillong. And it was a couple of chords which saw the entire play. And that's when I learned what actually is a background score in a play. The man was sitting on one of the wings for every performance with a guitar plugged in.
Beautiful, you're so beautiful, always beautiful, you're a child of the sun. Oh, most beautiful, you're so beautiful, always beautiful, you're a child of the sun. I thank you for the beautiful dream when reality was a ghostly nightmare. I thank you for the saving light when I was trapped by the midnight dogs of doom. I thank you for the gentle breeze when the howling winds can make me freeze. I thank you for the soothing rain when manners rules and love's in vain. Do 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 do. I thank you for the lonely night, the million stars, the moon so bright. I thank you for the silhouetted love, the naked earth, the star-studded sky above. I thank you for the good earth. I don't need the Fort Knox gold. I thank you for the love unsung when I was wounded with hatred. Do do unspoken words. I thank you for the tear-filled truth. I thank you for the distant warmth. I thank you for the sacred fire, the breezy autumn, the biting cold winter. I thank you for the morning sun, the blessed day, the setting sun. Oh, most beautiful, you're so beautiful, always beautiful, you're a child of the sun. Oh, most beautiful, you're so beautiful, always beautiful, you're a child of the sun. Do 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 do. Take your pick, Frankie boy. My loss will be your gain. But Frankie Lee, he sat right down and put his fingers to his chin. But with the cold eyes of Judas on him, his head began to spin. Would you please not stare at me like that, he said. It's just my foolish pride. For sometimes a man must be alone, and this is no place to hide. But Judas, he just winked and said, all right, I'll leave you here. But you'd better hurry up and choose which of these bills you want before they all disappear. I'm going to start my payment right now. Judas, tell me where you'll be. And Judas pointed down the road, said, eternity. Eternity, said Frankie Lee, with a voice as cool as ice. That's right, said Judas, eternity. Though you might call it paradise. Well, I wouldn't call it anything, said Frankie Lee with a smile. That's all right, said Judas. I'll see you after a while. Frankie Lee, he panicked. He dropped everything and ran until he came up to the spot where Judas Priest did stand. What kind of house is this, he said, where I have come to roam? It's not a house, said Judas. It's not a house, it's a home. Frankie Lee, he trembled. He soon lost all control over everything which he had made while the mission bells did toll. And he just stood there staring at a big house as bright as any sun, with 24 windows and a woman's face in every one. And up the stairs went Frankie Lee with a soulful bounding leap, and foaming at the mouth, he began to make his midnight creep. For 16 nights and days he raved, but on the 17th he burst into the arms of Judas, which is where he died of thirst. And no one tried to say a thing when they brought him out in jest, except of course the little neighbor boy who carried him to rest. And he just walked along alone with his guilt so well concealed, and muttered underneath his breath, nothing is revealed. The moral of the story, the moral of the song, is simply that one should never be where they don't belong. So when you see your neighbor carrying something, help him with his load, and don't go on mistaking paradise for that home across the road.
Thank you, Bar. Thank you not only for answering the questions today, but you've been living these answers. How does it feel? Magic. I could see the smiles. That feels good. And even silence says a lot of words, you know. And it especially feels so very good that I don't have words tonight, this evening.
That song was written for one beautiful girl.
Yeah.
Now she is a woman. We meet once in a while.
So you can imagine, and that's why the power of love, you know, who better but to hear it straight from him. And he's lived his life his way, as always. Any other reflections, Ba, on these lines? On the word called love.
Let me be with you and not for just a while. I will be the reason of your smile. Let me be the one to wipe your tears. I will be the shield against your fears. Let me be with you when the road is rough. I will be your strength when the going gets tough. Let me be the one to hold you tight. I will be the fire in your coldest night. Let me be the one. Let me be with you. Let me be the one to be with you. Let me be the one. Let me be with you. And together we will live today and share the magic of tomorrow. Yeah.
We always thought that Lou Majaw doesn't sing to impress. He sings to set souls free, and this is exactly what
It's
he
a love
did here.
song. I mean, like we fall in love. I mean,
Isn't
like
it?
you know.
Do
we
you
all
agree
fall
with
in
that?
love.
From what we've seen, he never sang to impress anybody. So we keep telling him that you sing for souls to set them free, you know. And I'm so glad it's happening here in our university, the Royal Global University. And last minute, you know, when we decided that, you know, if everything goes well, if he's free, should he make it? And will he be able to make it and see the magic? And you don't want him to go, do you? Do you want him to leave? No, I like that. No, I can't hear you. What did you say? Sorry, we can't hear you. I think, may your spirit keep roaring like, you know, like the thunder in your voice. Will you give them something where they can take their chairs and get up here and, you know, something of that? And with that energy, I think we will sum it up. What say?
Yeah, which is good, I guess. Be aware of who you are. Beware worse than a Judas kiss. And if the pill and the needle don't kill, the abuse of sex it surely will. I ain't calling the kettle black, there is another book off the rack. But the joy of sex and the beauty of it, it's a balanced diet to keep you fit. Ow! Take care of your manhood friend, it's your necessity treasure. For the pain you might have to suffer, it's not really worth the pleasure. The darkness of the needle, although it kills you ill, but it's a one-way ticket, friend, if taken for a thrill. So be aware of who you are, beware of what it is. For the curse it comes creeping in silence is worse than a Judas kiss. And if the pill and the needle don't kill, the abuse of sex it surely will.
This song, because I had been to lots of educational institutions, this song is about the awareness of HIV/AIDS, about drugs, about everything that the dark side of life will come to each and every one of us. So we just have to be aware of who we are and be aware of what it is. For the curse it comes creeping in silence is worse than a Judas kiss. And if the pill and the needle don't kill, the abuse of sex it surely will. Yeah?
So I must tell you that please be a little careful and mindful of all your addictions, including the phone. Not only the spirited variety that you find in bottles, the spirits of the bottled variety, but also on the other kinds and the phone. But I must tell you another sweet story, a connect I have with this man. And you know, I have corrected myself in a rehab. It's been almost 5 years. So I had a couple of addiction issues like, you know, alcohol, weed, and the likes. But it's been 5 years of celebrating sobriety. And for me coming out of a rehab clean.
Keep coming back.
Yes, this is the man.
Keep coming back.
This is the man I thank.
Keep coming back.
Along with a few friends, of course, my mother, who bared it well. So I thought I would share this with presence of Ba and also my mother. My family is luckily not here this evening. But a lot of sacrifices my mom made when I told her that I'm going off for a while. And she had the courage to tell me that, come back clean, you know. And this is the man who said that you've been hitting the bottle a bit too often, be mindful. And with coming from him, those are the steps that got me corrected as well. So added delight to come back clean and back to you with a fresh mind. Thank you so much, Spring Orchestra.
Thank you so very much.
For making this so very special. And can we call in all the organizers and the students of the department to come and do a group picture with us? My mother's been very special, so she doesn't normally come in. But what a delight to have you. And they are contemporary, by the way. They share the same age. Huh?
Here we go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right.
You don't know how special this is for me.